Hi, good night, everyone. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a good New Year. I'm so excited for tonight's show. I'm seeing everyone joining us tonight. Good night. Good night, Marcia. Good night, Judy. Good night, Patrick. I'm so excited for tonight's show. I'm really looking forward for everything that is going to be happening. Tell me how your Christmas and your New Year's was. Put the comments in the chat so that we can see. Good night, Michael. Good night, everybody. Loyal opposition. I hope everybody's excited for what we have in store tonight. My name is SHAQUANI Hunt, and I am glad to be hosting today. My co host will be joining us very shortly, so I'm not going to reveal who she is until she comes on. I want it to be a surprise. Good night. I'm so excited that everybody could join us tonight. And I know that we really was looking forward to tonight's show because why wouldn't it be? This is the Marcia Week show. Good night, Marcia. I'm so happy that everyone could come on tonight, and we're really looking forward to a very positive start to the new year. We're really looking to how we're going to plan and perfect how we go through life, how we strategize, and how we get on track. Because I know last year, 2024, thankful that I was able to come through to the end. We did have some tough times last year. And we want to make 2025 a better year. And to do that, we believe that we need to plan, we need to think about our health, and we really need to plan our financials as well. So we'll be tackling that and a lot of other hot topics. Oh, guys, and wait till you find out a surprise we have for you about Marcia and where she is. So I hope that you all are excited and looking forward to what will be happening. And we will definitely be ready. And we're just happy. I know a lot of you. Hi, good night, Jenny. I'm so happy for my co-host to be joining me.
Good night, everyone.
It's
Good
like,
night to the opposition. Happy New Year. It's so good to be co-hosting with SHAQUANI. I know you guys maybe was thinking it was going to be Marcia, but it is not.
not tonight. And it's like we coordinated because her background is green tonight, my background is green tonight. It's like we planned it.
So, yeah.
Green must be the color for 2025.
Yes. Growth it must be indicating.
Growth,
Maybe
money,
we'll learn that tonight when Carolyn Walters talks about that on the vision board.
definitely. We have a lot of good things in store. Maybe we may also learn something about green vegetables when Timon comes on to speak about healthy eating and eating on a budget because you know how high the cost of living is in Barbados. We really need to watch the pennies. Guys, we're going to play the anthem at 7:05. So just keep in. So you know we have to start the program right every single time we do it. So look out for that. And we're seeing a lot more people joining.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yes.
night, Marcia. And we also have Cam on as well. Loyal opposition as always. We really do appreciate you and your support. And you know what we want you to do? We want you to go to YouTube, press the like button because when you like the videos, it would get pushed further. So share the videos, like the videos. So if you have not liked the video, stop what you're doing right now and like it. If you don't know how to like it, ask your grandchildren or your children. Trust me, they know how to like a video. Good night, Leanne. We so appreciate everybody who's coming on the show tonight to hear what we have in store. And this is supposed to be the youth edition. So give us a break. If you think that something's not going right, just shoot us a message in the chat. But we're so happy that you were able to join us already tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you who are currently on the program. And we're looking forward for tonight's activities because even though we have some guests that some of you may not know as yet, they have some really good things planned and stored. So we're really looking forward to it. And then I don't know about you, even though the year now start, I realize that we have a lot of things going on that needs to be addressed. And with that, we're going to keep those exciting bits for the very end. So don't plan that you go and sleep early because you will miss us talking about the potholes. You will miss us talking about how expensive hams were in the supermarket because I don't know about you. but they were pretty pricey for me. Janine, what was late for you shopping over the holidays?
Quite of a headache. I cut back a lot this time, but we're still able to have a Merry Christmas at the same time. What about you guys?
Guys, it's our favorite time right now, so we're gonna be playing the anthem right now. So
Mhm.
we'll be back talking about the expenses in the supermarket right after that. Thank you very much. I want to thank our behind the scenes person. I don't know if I'm allowed to call his name, but I really appreciate for helping out with the technicals tonight, because I know that me and Janine couldn't do it alone and we won't be able to do it without you, but we really truly appreciate your assistance. And guys, we're going to jump right in about what is happening tonight. Janine, you want to tell everyone what's going on tonight?
Yeah, so good night, everyone. Again, it's good to see you continuing to join the live tonight. I see that your guys are still joining. You have to continue to share, 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 share. There's going to be a reveal tonight. I want you guys to just think about, where can Marcia be? That is the pop question for tonight. Where is Marcia? And then tonight we do have some serious things to get into, otherwise, in regards to Timon to be coming on talking about nutrition and healthy eating. We also have, for the first time on the Mercy show, Carolyn Walters should be talking about creating a vision board for 2025. We're also going to be talking about planning for 2025, as you see on the screen currently, and how do we survive in this economy. And I just want to wish everyone again a happy new year, and I wish that this new year is very much prosperous for you and good health and everything. And just be kind to one another. Let's keep that Christmas cheer in the air, continue for 2025.
Janine, I want to thank you so much for that bit. Two more things that I want to add on to that we'll be discussing. We want to take some time out to thank and send our condolences and our prayers to Minister Lisa Morris Julian from Trinidad and Tobago. She would have passed away over a couple of weeks ago. Her and her her and her two children, and we really want to spread the love and kindness to their family, because we know that this must truly be a difficult time. A little bit later in the show, we will go into some more details about that. We also want to speak about what the current Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago just not too long announced. And I know that what he announced will impact us here in Barbados a little bit. So we need you to log back in to see if he's not running next election, how would that impact our Prime Minister? Will she run back or will she not? So remember, at the end of the show, we'll be discussing hot topics like that. So you need to stay to the end. But while we're waiting until our first guest come on, let's tell you a little bit about Timon. I mean, we all know him from the cybercrime bill and the excellent job that he did in DC. But what do we really know about Timon in his field of study? Janine, you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about him? Wait, you're muted. I think you're muted.
Are you
Right, yeah, we can hear you now.
great? All right. So as Shaquani was stating, we all know Timon from doing that excellent presentation in Parliament back in May of 2024, and then he went on to go to Washington D.C. and was on fire once again. But now we will have Timon coming on in a different capacity tonight. He's actually studying nutrition, and he's going to talk about nutrition and healthy eating tonight. He's going to give examples of, you know, so how we can go about eating healthy but on a budget as well. And he has been fascinated with the abilities of the body for over a decade. He's a person who goes past his limits. He doesn't set any particular bar for himself, which is a really great thing as a young person. He began his own mental and physical transformation in secondary school, and since then he has been passionate about pushing his own limits and in time helping others do the same. He's a fitness enthusiast as well, and he would have studied at the American College for Medicine. He's a personal trainer. He's currently at the University of the West Indies, Cape campus, under the Bachelor's of Science, Human Nutrition and Dietetics program. His business is called Eagle Edge Fitness. So that's again Eagle Edge Fitness. It is a fitness company keen on the insight and guidance, which offers both corporal and individual entities. This focuses on achieving better personal health through nutrition and progression. So if you guys want to get fit, you can tonight you'll be able to ask him on these questions and even join his company as well.
I don't know about you guys, but I hope you went just now and got your paper and pencil, because you need to be writing down this information, because this is gold. I know everybody, I don't know about you guys, but we want to get fit for 2025. I don't know who may be jumping for prop over, but if you're going to be ready for those, as the people will say, the summer bodies, we need to be getting in the gym, eating healthy, but also enjoying ourselves. And I think it's going to be a very exciting segment when Timon tells us how we can do that on a budget. Because with the prices that we saw at Christmas time, I don't know how else we could do it unless it is budgeted. Janine, you were telling us before the anthem played what it was like for you shopping in the supermarkets.
Yes, the supermarket prices they go up every single week. I mean, you can't budget. One minute you're going there, you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to buy this set of groceries, and they're going to come up to this particular price, and then lo and behold, it's more than what you even budgeted for. So to be able for Timon to come on tonight and tell us how we can be healthy on a budget is going to be a great help, because it's very hard to even eat healthy. Is much cheaper to maybe buy things that are not so good for your body. To eat healthy is very expensive, and I know a lot of persons do want to eat healthy, but unfortunately, the finances might not permit that. When you just have to fill your belly on a day-to-day basis. So thank God for Timon tonight. I'm very excited to have him on this capacity. A different vibe from him, and we all get to learn something. I hope that you guys are continuing to like and share. And remember, we still have that pop question: where is Marcia Weeks?
I think you guys need to start commenting in the comments where you think she is. We have over 200 people on the live, so tell us, where do you think Marcia is? And while you're doing that, please tell us, what was it like shopping for you at Christmas? Was it more difficult, or you found that you were able to make your money stretch more? Because
Yeah. That
I
and
didn't.
how did you spend your New Year's as well? Did you guys go to church? What did you do? You went to a party? How was it for you guys?
Well, while we're waiting for people to comment and say what they did and how it was for them, for me, I can tell you I'm a simple person. Christmas was very low key. New Year's was very low key for me as well. I did not spend a lot. I actually did not buy any gifts. I told myself people will get gifts in 2025 because 2024 was more difficult than we anticipated. Even though I would have loved to, I'm not gonna lie, I come from a very extended family where I have a lot of sisters and I have a lot of nieces and nephews. So it's not like a one gift, it's like a many gift. We have a football team over here. So we're well supported. But they did appreciate and they do feel love, and I hope that even if you weren't able to give your loved one something, you were still able to give them the hope and understanding that they are appreciated and not everything must include money, but we can make the things that are valued, like love and care and kindness, feel important for them as well. So that is an important lesson. When I was younger, I don't want to say young because somebody's going to comment and say I'm still young. When I was younger, I remember every single Christmas Eve we would go to church, 5 a.m. service. As a little person, I cannot tell you how many Christmas Eve services going into Christmas morning I actually stayed up in. I remember getting to church and then it was sleeping, but then you know what I also right now remember? That it was important. It was like a rite of passage. Even though I was small and I didn't understand at that time, as I got older, I appreciated my family taking me to church. Janine, is it like that for you and your family? Do you go to church Christmas Eve or is it something different there?
Right. So for me, Chris, we go to church. It was a normal thing for us to go to church on every single Sunday. We were involved in many, even the evangelistic ministries and stuff like that. So on Christmas morning, hardly we would ever get to do that because my family is the type where we go to sleep about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, cleaning because we push together the house and stuff like that. So it's like a whole shebang. Like, so wake up in the morning and see a brand new house with the ham
Okay.
cooking. So you like there's that whole is just be a difference. It feels so brand new, you know. So that was the kind of thing. So we hardly ever made it to church on Christmas morning, unfortunately, but on the Sundays, for sure. Well, years night for sure. That's another time that we would definitely go to church. I did go to church on years night as well. So it's always good to bring in the new year in a solemn place, you know, being grateful for everything that you made it was able to make it through for the year. You know, some people don't even get to make it to 2025. So I see that we do have a lot to be grateful for. You know, some things may be hard for some persons, but at the same time, we are here, and once we are here, something better can happen for us. Shaquani wants to look into the comments now. I'm seeing somebody
Yes.
said that they think she's in the motherland.
Where is the motherland?
Somebody said on a much needed staycation. Well, she does need a break.
I like that one. They think she's in the motherland. I think that person needs to comment and tell us where they think the motherland is.
Which country in the motherland? Because you know the motherland will be an African place.
Yep. So which country? We need to. Oh, somebody comment and say in Africa. Wow, what part of Africa? If she's really there, what part of Africa? Where is she? We need to send out a search party. Where is Marcia?
Somebody
Oh,
said she didn't go to Ghana without me. Well, I hope so either, because I want to go to Ghana as well.
I hope that's a group trip because I want to be a part of it. I feel like we need to make that a group trip. We need to tell Marcia this when we see her, when we hear her, that she needs to plan a group trip because we all want to come. She's not in Ghana though, but she might be close by, like a neighbor. Wait, we have somebody saying, right. I was not going back to that comment.
Yeah, I agree with this person though. I think that we need to, especially for the meats. Yeah, we could go. You could actually go into a supermarket, you know, and spend like over $600, and you do not even have meat or toiletries because the supermarket is pretty crazy. So I do agree with this individual to start purchasing the meats and on one budget, then come back and buy the rest of food later. I do agree with Lena. This is
I
the best year to go.
I think this year was a little bit more difficult too because when I went to the supermarket, I remember trying to purchase lamb and it didn't have any lamb. Lamb wasn't going to be restocked until Christmas Day. I think they had told me or the day after. So even though it made me feel like, oh, maybe I should have stopped up like what that person did, or we need to appreciate it more. Maybe we need to spend some more time as a country focusing on our agriculture and thinking about how we can produce more of these meats here because at Christmas we're accustomed to buying up and spending on meat. But when there's a limit on what you can purchase and how much is there is very difficult. Or we have some more people commenting on where she might be. Let's go back up. So,
Russia. Woman.
well, people, but we saw the Africa. Yes, she might
Somebody
be
said she
over
was in
there.
Russia too. Just know.
I saw that, but I don't know where that comment gone. She's not in Russia. Not that motherland. She's not over
Somebody
there.
said she was looking for some blackberry sheep.
Marcia, if you are in Guyana and you have located the blackberry sheep, please send a smoke signal so that we can find you and we can find them and bring them back. Because up to now, we've not had an update on that, and we're still really worried. Like I said, we don't have lamb. We didn't have lamb in the supermarkets, in some of the supermarkets for Christmas. So maybe if we had those blackberry sheep that went to Guyana, maybe if we could get an update on that, we will be able to have lamb in stores and we won't have a shortage. Because if you're going to say plans like that or initiatives like that is supposed to make sure that we don't have shortages, if the initiatives fall through or no one does a report on it, we don't know if it's working, if it didn't work, because there's no accountability. So, Marcia, if you're in Guyana, please give us an update. Somebody asked if she's in Jamaica. I want to say, Marcia, if you were in Jamaica and you did not tell us, we are we are done with you. But I'm just joking. I don't think she's in Jamaica. If she was in Jamaica, she would have probably said she'd gone home. She would have probably said she'd gone home. Let me see. Where are the other comments? Where do we think she is? Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica.
You know that there's actually no someone in Ghana though. So there I saw a post where they were talking about they want persons to come and visit Ghana and stuff.
Well, you never know. Maybe we might go answer the call. All right. That post might not be for us though. That might not be for us. But I think a lot of people, Mr. Newton, I cannot call him by his first name because he taught me when I was at BCC a while back. It feels wrong to call him by his first name. So, Mr. Newton, I feel like a lot of people in the comments want to travel to Africa based on what we're saying. We want to see the elephants, we want to see the tribes, we want to wear the national customs, what they will wear. Because saying it is one thing, but being in it, I think is something completely different. Being able to be really in the moment. We have another person who's thinking that she's in Jamaica. Guys, Marcia, if you're in Jamaica, please let us know because the people think you're in Jamaica. Let me see. Where else do you think Marcia might be? Because somebody said, oh, that person is just saying that they're here. Good night. Good night. Please continue to share the live. And for persons who are now joining, Marcia is on vacation. Her wonderful husband planned a vacation for them, and we're trying to see if you can guess where she is currently. And some of the comments before would have said Jamaica, they would have said Ghana. Somebody said she's in Russia. She is definitely not there. We can confirm that. I see somebody said that she's in St. Vincent. I don't think that she might be in St. Vincent, she's not in the Caribbean. She's a little bit further, a little bit further. It's a motherland too, but not that one. Again, when people say she's in the motherland, we need to go into more details. Janine, tell me, what do you think the motherland was? Because earlier I heard you said something.
Right. That's the first thing we're saying in Africa. I mean, I know most persons consider the motherland to be any place in Africa. So yeah.
Man, Janine, I feel like we can go start putting up the answer because
Well, some persons are actually saying it. They actually got smart and went into the posts and they
a
found
lot
out.
of Yes. That tells you how important reading is. And yes, this
Yeah.
person is right, Jackie. You're correct. She's in Kenya. They're in Kenya. And right now is actually like 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. And
Mhm.
I'm telling you, she was up with us. So I know she's excited to see what this show would be like. And yeah, she's in Kenya. I don't know anybody else ever went to Kenya that's currently on the live that can tell us a little bit about what their experiences were or what their experience was when they went. But yeah, she's in Kenya. If you read the description for tonight's show, we did say where she was. So that shows you how important reading is. And when somebody says that you need to read the fine print, that is very important because the details are always in the fine print. She's in Kenya, they're in Kenya, they're having an amazing time. And we actually have a small segment for you to show you what in Kenya is like for them and all the things they're doing. And they're so excited to share the whole process with you. So I don't want to give out too many details because we will play that video a little bit later so that you can get the whole, I guess, the whole idea of what that trip was like, how they got there, how long it took, and some of the experiences they're enjoying currently.
Yeah, and it still shows how much Marcia loves you guys. Although she's so far away in such a different time zone, she was had to go into her bed, but she was still up with this loyal opposition. So you see, guys, although she's away, she has not forgotten you at all. She is so much in love with you.
I'm telling you, lawyer opposition up to I want to say about 5 minutes ago, she was there with us, making sure that we got everything ready. We were ready, but I don't know how we would have done it without her and Dave. We do truly appreciate the two of them, and I'm so happy
Yeah,
that they can get this long awaiting vacation because they really needed this. I
literally
don't
deserve it.
know,
And although she's on vacation, she's still really not, because she's still,
yeah,
still
she's
assisting
still
with the
checking in,
children.
she's still looking after us, and that is what we need to really do. We really need to realize that sacrifice and consistency that matters when you want something to come off or come true. And the loyal opposition and what she does is so important that she knows that every night the show is required, a show must happen. And if you know Marcia, time matters. So 7 on the dot, the show must start at 7 on the dot. So I know you guys look for us every single time, even if we're running a little bit late. I don't know about any of you, if you've ever went on a diet before, you've ever had to budget for something like that, being like eating healthy. But I want to say when I was younger, but in another lifetime, I was actually a vegan. So I didn't used to eat meat. I didn't used to eat fish, cheese, nothing dairy. My family was on something called the alkali diet, which you guys would have to research because I don't have enough time to pull up about it. But I can basically tell you like what it was coming up in that lifestyle. I was never sick as a child. The diet was very like a clean diet. So we only ate certain vegetables, certain fruits, and it was something that my family at that time thought was the best thing for us. My mom was we were Rastafarian and we had lots as a child. Well, I had lots as a child as well. And for our family, it was putting your health in front of everything. So we only ate local fruits. We only ate, well, we didn't use any sugar or anything like that. And I found eating like that was good. Well, my mom, she lost a lot of weight. I was like a bone bird, like what I am now. So for me, it was more about the commitment, doing something as a family, and I didn't feel pressure because unlike my younger siblings, they came up on it, but I stopped eating meat to go on it with my family. And it was strange, but being able to experience something like that, you don't know what you're missing until you actually go onto it. So what I'm saying is that even though it may seem strange, like going on a diet to be healthy, to change your life, you never know. It may be for you. You just need to try it. So we're so excited to see what Timon has in store for us tonight because He's a nutritionist, not me. I am just a person who happened to be on a lifestyle diet when I was younger, who can share my experiences. But anybody who wanted to know about it, you can always just look up the alkali diet online and you can see what that diet was like. And it was more like a lifestyle. Timon, are you ready? Because we can see you in the background. Well, while he's getting himself ready, we will just be prepping you and reminding you what he is talking about, as he will be going into nutrition and eating healthy and doing it on a budget, because we know how difficult it is currently to focus on eating healthy. Well, eating healthy could be expensive. So we don't want you to have to choose between feeding your family and having a healthy lifestyle. We want you to be able to do both, and to be able to do both. And to be able to do both, we know that you need to know what is considered healthy and maybe how you can do it in small increments until you can afford to do more, or you can look and pick and choose to see what can I take out that can make a difference in my diet. I know a lot of people here before had a lot of people here on this show would have tried different things, and they can definitely share their point of views to things that they have tried before. Like on a morning, I always used to start my mornings with turmeric tea. I don't know if a lot of you do it, but because I came from a background where we grew up drinking a lot of herbal teas, we did used to do stuff like that all the time. What your mom did to lose diet, because I want to lose. Oh, okay. Well, that particular diet that was called a alkali diet, and it was really, really strict. Like we didn't use sugar, we didn't use flour, we didn't use salt, and then when you go online, you Google it, it tells you what you take out of your diet, but we did it in increments. So things like sweet potatoes, we would use something called wild yam. So it wouldn't be the regular yam. It looks kind of big and it shapes weird, but it's very nice and soft. We would use things like cassava. We would also use like blue vein tea on the morning. We would use like sea moss. So things that could be affordable. I know sometimes like when you take things like salt or your diet, it may feel strange in the beginning, but sometimes it you have to get accustomed to it. When you start getting accustomed to it, then you don't miss it. So, but what I will say, being on a diet like that, I found that I ate more frequently. So instead of eating, say, in the morning, lunch, and then dinner, I had meals in between. So I had meals like nuts. We ate a lot of legumes, so almonds, cashews. Back then, nuts were cheaper. Just saying, we used to go in town and buy nuts in a big pack. It was a lot cheaper. I don't know if any of you ever had something like that where you, even though where you were eating healthy, you found that you were eating more in your meals rather than less. I see somebody here is saying you can grow more food. I tried doing that in COVID, but I don't have a green thumb. Janine, what about you? Have you grown any food before?
Yeah, only like plantain or bananas, that kind of
Guys,
stuff.
I want you to know Janine said only planting. I swear she was gonna say like a time. Part. Tell us about you growing planting, because that is not only like a small, that is something big.
Well, somebody have brought the bud. I don't know, I think the name was not, but it's like the small tree of the plantain, and they just sort
Uh-huh.
of put it in the ground, and it was already a little hike, so I had much to do.
Listen to me. I'm telling you that you did something, because I purchased during COVID. I purchased, you know how you buy the seedlings from the hardware store for lettuce. One day I forgot to water lettuce. I was so excited about these. They were so big, they sprung out, and I was like, yes, we can get lettuce. I forgot to water them one day. I came back, they were shriveled to nothing. So even though people say you should start a home garden is really easy, it is not as easy as they think. Tell us what you did, because clearly you did something right, because you got plantings.
No, I love planting. So somebody just brought as I said, the little thing for me, and they just planted and just taught me how to plant it outside, and that is how it was. But I didn't do nothing major. I have nothing to take credit for. But I guess we can start to bring Timon on now.
Yes. So Timon is actually here. Hi, good night, Timon. Oh, you're muted.
Boom. Hi, good night, good night. How are y'all doing today?
We are good. What about you? We're excited to hear what you have in store for us.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm actually gonna share my screen
Okay, that is
a
perfect.
bit. So
So
yeah.
what we'll do, we're going to the background so that you can have the whole screen to discuss. But we'll
Good.
see
But
what
I mean, you good because you might want
okay.
pitch in or whatever the case may be. But yeah. So let me pull it up. Hmm, I ain't gonna share my full screen, is it? Okay,
So
wait a minute.
guys, while we're waiting for Timon to bring his screen, I want you to remember to please like the live and share. So if you haven't done that as yet, please like the live on YouTube and share. It is the thumbs up button. Oh, Timon's screen is ready.
Yeah, cool. So, oh, I didn't even see your message in your chat for me, my bad. Janine, no seeing that. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. I
But yeah,
help you bring out your screen just now as well. It's fine.
appreciate it, appreciate it. So, first of all, good night to everyone. I hope that y'all had a fantastic holiday period and transition into the new year. I hope it, was filled with a tempered and productive anticipation of what the year has in store. And I hope that the year does have much in store for all of us. Before I start, this is just a general disclaimer. I'm not sure if the bio would have been read before. Probably. Cool. Fantastic. Yeah, but this is just a general disclaimer. I would advise and urge you, before you do anything in terms of making any drastic changes, please consult with your general practitioner, your GP, which is your regular doctor that you would go to. Or if you have a dietitian that you see on a fairly frequent basis, consult with them as well. See them before you jump to make any drastic changes to your dietary practices based on anything that you hear in this forum this evening. Right, all the information that's going to be presented is for a general audience and it's just as a reference of was internationally accepted by various groups and bodies, whether that's the Dietetics Association, whether that is the USDA and their recommendations, wherever the case may be. Yeah, so take everything with a grain of for lack of a better phrase, take it all with a grain of salt. um, but yeah, consult your practitioners, because even in and um, I'm not sure who read the bio, whether it was Shaquani or Janine, but in doing my ACSM certification, one thing that's very much reinforced is the process of referrals, and understanding the scope of your practice. So I ain't trying to, make it seem as though I'm a doctor. I'm not. I know what the scope of my practice is. And outside of that scope, there are persons who are more specialized and who are more far advanced, who you would refer to get specific information, who can also help you on a personal level, because they can't do that through the screen by any means. Cool. So that is that, and that out of the way now. Let's get down to it. Um. So what's diet is basically, if we're talking about diet, is what you consume on a regular basis. So whether that is you are, some people talk about, like Shaquani was talking about her alkaline diet, that has the different specifications and particulars which will go along with that, which would dictate what it is that she consumes on a regular basis. Right? You have persons that are pescatarian, which means they only eat fish, they don't eat meat, so their diet is a pescatarian diet because they only eat fish as their main source of protein. Don't eat chicken or turkey or pork or whatever else the case may be. fish is their thing, and that is their animal source. You have lacto ovo vegetarians, which are persons that consume milk and consume eggs and such, and so on and so forth. But the diet essentially is what you consume on a regular basis, right? It's not necessarily, this thing that you do or go on in order to lose weight per se. Yes, you would, and persons adjust their diets in order to then meet certain goals, whatever the case may be. But when you hear the word diet, it does not mean that you're doing any crazy starvation. It does not mean that you're just eating boiled chicken and broccoli for 3 meals every single day, 7 days a week. That does not what it is per se. It just means what you eat on a regular basis. So don't get scared
Yeah,
by.
well, I'm glad you said that because I think a lot of people was thinking exactly what you said. That a day is just something for you to lose crazy weight because a person was actually stating earlier they wanted to lose weight. So I'm glad that
Mm,
you were able to reinforce that tonight.
exactly. Because even if you're not losing weight, you still have a diet. And that diet consists of whatever it is that you consume on a regular basis, right? Both food and also drink. So that's just to kind of set the standard of was what there, right? In terms of the food that you're consuming now, we mainly what are Nigel is TI, but I appreciate the question. Um, so this is something that also my one of my lecturers at UE, she's doing a bit of. I think she said she did her master's on that. Um, or she's continuing research on that. But the gut microbiome is something that she seems to be interested in. And it's essentially you have a bacterial system within your gut that helps with digestion and gut health and so on and so forth, which impacts your overall health, etc. But the consequences as such, maybe even not if just your gut health, but the same thing with when maybe you're not doing any exercise and then you want to start exercising. There's a standard practice that the ACSM, same certification board that I'm under, recommends, and other certification boards, of starting one with light resistance and body weight for at least 3 sessions for a body, and then progressing into the standardized program, because of the fact that you have things like rhabdomyolysis, which is where essentially you overdo it, your muscle tissue breaks down at too fast a rate, and it affects your um, excretory system in terms of your kidneys and so on and so forth. So when you overdo anything, Nigel, you tend to have problems, right? So if it is that you're drinking a certain amount of water and you want to increase your water intake, you generally try and do that gradually. Even if somebody's dehydrated, right, and you admit them to the hospital, you see that they get IV, and that IV gives them drips, which would gradually increase the amount of water within their system, right? It's just a general practice of not trying to overcompensate, because overcompensation tends to then throw things off the other way at too fast a rate, generally speaking. But if you want, like I said, check your GP, check any your primary dietitian, and they would be able to more specifically tell you, for you especially, because everybody got in the same either. So for you in particular, after you have whatever assessments you need to have with them, they'll be able to more give you a guideline of how certain things may impact you in particular, right? And that's why I think that that disclaimer is very important at the very beginning, also, right? Shoot. So that's just that. Let me. And you can let me know if you get what I mean, though, Nigel. Just confirm that you understand what it is that I'm saying there. But that will come true. His message will come through. It probably has a delay between the two systems. Right. So you have your fats, you have your carbohydrates or carbs, and you have your protein sources. Common protein sources, I can start from right and go back to the left. Why? Because we read left to right and I won't be different. So you can go right to left. So protein sources, you have your healthy protein sources, generally your fish, your nuts, legumes, and primarily your white meat, your chicken breast in particular. Trying to stay away from those red meats as much as possible that have higher levels of saturated fat because of the implications of that for your heart health. And that's something that's already a challenge in our community, and in our country, heart disease and all associated conditions with the NCD's PhD Heart and Stroke Foundation is doing a good job of bringing awareness to, along with other organizations. But we need to do better. So thankful again for the opportunity to come to the folks and share. So yeah, protein sources. I'm actually gonna go back over to the left. So fats. You are gonna see that the fats, like you see salmon there, which is fish, it overlaps with the protein source. That's because it also in it has healthy fats. So you will find that some of those protein sources, same thing with the nuts and stuff, you see it overlap on the other side because both of those have in, or multiple of those have in healthy fats as well. So when you have those protein sources, you know that you're kind of covering the healthy fats that you trying to be getting. Yeah. Cool. Glad that helped you, Nigel. Cheers. Right. So you're gonna be overlapping with those healthy fats. If you want to top it up, you can use your avocado, so on and so forth. Carbs, no. This is where we get into what the old people talk about with the crown provisions, yeah, the green banana and the edos and the yams and the sweet potato and the cassava, you know what I mean, right? That's more so the carbohydrates, and the fruit and veg also would fall under there too. Um, differently. So your vegetables in particular are also going to be providing you with a lot of fiber too. So that's where you want your veg intake to be up, because that provides fiber, which helps with digestion, which helps with the same gut health that we were talking about a little earlier, Nigel, as well. So you'll want to make sure that your fiber intake is adequate. And like I said before, consult with your GP, because if it is that you're someone perhaps that has a condition like diverticulitis, then your fiber requirements and the way that you intake food is going to be different, right? Because you have to make sure not to agitate that. So like I said, it's important to get specific advice from your GP, but it's general, like we said. Cool. So that being said, and having an understanding of the different items that fall into these categories, I really don't like to talk for so long, to be honest. So SHAQUANI and JANINE, y'all gonna be the participation to ease my voice and help me maintain my sanity.
No
Cool?
problem. I actually
Nice.
have a question in regards to the carbs, because I know a
Okay.
person who was eating a lot of carbs. As you were saying earlier, gotta be careful of the intake.
Mm-hmm.
and they were not able to lose any weight. I think they were actually gaining weight in regards
Mm-hmm.
to the carbs. So as the person that would encourage persons, you could maybe assist me in why that was happening to my friend. But as I guess you would have known, start to explain it in regards to you have to be careful of how much you intake of each particular thing, right?
Right, right, right. So, in terms of your friend, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I could ask some questions and ascertain from you what else she was doing, but
She
you
was
could give me
busy
an
less
idea,
work,
like what?
Yeah, she was
Uh-huh.
busy less work. As you were saying, like how your grandparents would tell you, you need to eat more from provision and stuff like that. She was not a person who would have done that previously a lot. So she
Mm-hmm.
just started to incorporate more of that into her
Oh.
diet and stuff. But she was working out as well. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was 3 days a week. She started to go to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and she was actually putting on weight around her tummy.
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't. She was basically using a lot of grown provision in her diet at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So, in terms of, and this was body fat, yeah.
I have a figured.
Well, just confirming, right? So, in terms of storage of fat, yeah, and how it will relate to the diet in particular. General principle, um, you have what is your daily energy expenditure, and you have was your intake in terms of the energy that you're intaking in food, right? So you spend a certain amount of energy, one, from your baseline, your base metabolic rate, your additional physical activity, if it is that, like you said, she was doing gym, um, other physical activity, moving around the place, and if any specific repairs need to be done, your body would use resources for that as well. In terms of the relationship between the two and the storage of fat, when you are consuming more energy in food than you are expending on average, then you would gain weight. Because obviously, excess energy in food, it would be stored. That energy then is stored in fat tissue, right? And that's where you would find that you would gain adipose tissue or body fat. Um, if you had told me that she was just gaining weight like on the scale, my response might have been a bit different, because if it is that you're training, and especially if you're doing resistance training, obviously you're gonna be putting on muscle mass. Muscle is denser than fat. So even though you might be losing fat, if you're putting on the muscle, then the scale changes, could throw you off. And that's why persons that are trainers will tell you don't be a slave to the scale in particular. Especially if it is that you're not like, let me say, like greatly obese, like type 2 or some class 2, then you would be susceptible to that kind of skill tricks, because if it is that you like greatly obese and you losing a lot of fat, you ain't gonna be putting on the muscle at the same rate as you losing all that fat. You got a lot more fat to lose. But if it is that you're, a little closer to your ideal body weight, you might start to get a little um tricked by the scale as you gain muscle mass, and it balances back out with the fat that you're losing. But yeah. In terms of your friend, she probably was just overall, when she add in the carbohydrates, might have just increased her total food intake, you know, as opposed to taking out other foods that she was already consuming. Because if it is that you're having, all right, say she was eating,
she was staying
how
away
is she?
from meats.
How tall is she?
Let's see, about 5'8". If it's she was like 2 inches taller than me, and is about 5'6". So yeah, she's about 5'8". All right,
Okay, yeah, that's how the math works. Okay, so say she she caught it when you laughing. She caught
Because of the guessing.
it.
Let me
Oh,
stop. Let me stop, people.
mhm,
But
mhm,
we're
mhm.
listening to Timon. Timon, I'm listening to you.
Okay, lovely. So say she was having anywhere about 2,000 calories. Like we call it 2,000 just to have that flat and to be able to work the math from there. So she was having 2,000 calories in food, otherwise before she added any carbs. All right. And then she said, all right, well, I don't eat these ground provisions, so let me try and have more ground provisions, etc. And then she's adding now maybe another 500, maybe more than that calories in carbs, because I don't know how much she was using with each meal. But if it is that she like, yeah, let me go crazy, no, grown provisions. Granny said I needed these yams, these edos, I need some dumplings, whatever. Because you see what I'm being in society, you can't open a can of tuna. It's like, you need dumplings, you never eat dumplings, these kind of things. Because obviously the ground provisions are associated with strength and ability and so on and so forth, which is interesting. But that aside, if it is that she then added like 500, on average, extra calories a day, or more, maybe let me say 700, maybe eight, then obviously it's no surprise that then she would be putting on weight, especially if it was that the 2,000 was maybe a maintenance for her, a maintenance level of calories that is like kind of balanced what she's using and what she's intaking. When she bumped this up now, is off balance. So this energy, this extra energy, can be getting stored. And over time, consistently doing that, she can gain weight. But like I said, I will have this specific person there because I
Right.
might got
But
some
she's
good
actually
facts.
listening, so
Oh,
she would
cool.
be learning something from it. So yeah,
Oh,
I was actually no messaging her as if she was listening. But
okay.
I guess we would learn something for everybody tonight. We would learn so far that basically it gotta be watch weight and taking. Is much more technical than we taught about having a diet, because people just thinking maybe that's going to get proteins or maybe use less fats or something, but you have to be very careful of how you are using these stuff. So I hope that everybody's listening and you're continuing to like and share and take very keen of what Timon is saying. Get your pens and pencils because I'm actually learning as well.
Lovely, lovely. Glad to be learning. So yeah, and a nice way to track this too is if you have a set food system in the household that you're in, or you have a set, for example, you know what the meals that you have are, like a meal plan, so to speak, and well, this January is the breakfast, like Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, whatever. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, right? Whatever the case may be, then you would be able to track then how that's affecting your body as you are following something set. It decreases the variables then, because if you're just playing it by ear and you're not doing something consistent, you're not going to be able to really pinpoint where the changes are coming that you're seeing in your body. If it is that you're following something consistent, then when you see certain changes in your body, you follow it for, like we say, are you doing this 4 weeks, and you see, all right, so I was eating this and I kept eating this. All right, I see it losing weight, whatever the case may be, boom, boom, boom. Or I see it gaining weight, and then you'll be able to say, all right, so I could dial back on some of the carbs I have, some of the fats I have, some of the protein I have, the overall intake, try and cut back on that, see how that goes. Maybe, just decrease the portion sizes a little bit. Let me see how that goes in each meal, or in one meal, maybe even one meal a day, because one meal a day goes a long way. So that's a rhyme. Anyway, sorry. You can see how it goes, right? And you can have an actual metric by which you can relate it to the progress that you're seeing in your actual physical body. If it is that fat loss is what you're going for, if it is that maybe muscle gain is what you're going for, whatever the case may be, you will be able to track it because you have something to go by, right? Which is very different to not having anything to go by. So I would definitely recommend, the 3 steps that we really gonna be hitting today. One, try and get a ballpark range of what it is that's your dietary requirements. Then based on your restrictions, like I said, some people don't eat meat aside from fish. Maybe you have allergies, right? So you will want to have your food options in these categories that provide the different food groups, the different macronutrients, that are not outside of, that are within what you can consume, aside from what you're restricted from, right? So that's outside of the allergies that you have, that's outside of whatever religious, restrictions you may have. What are the options that you have in each of the groups that you can consume, that you can utilize, right? And once you then identify that, that is where you would be able to set up your plate, right? And so that brings me to the next slide. What I'm using here is a tool called the My Plate. Is generated by the USDA, the Department of Agriculture in the US. Funny enough, we this is something that the Heart and Stroke Foundation also uses. They make the modifications of, instead of grains, let's put that category as carbohydrates. And then instead of just specifically dairy, give me a second, Nigel. Instead of specifically dairy, then they usually say either the 2% or low fat milk or a glass of water with the meal. So that's the modifications that they make. But I couldn't find that image. So essentially what you have here is a plate where half of it is fruits or veg, about a quarter of it is carbohydrates, and about a quarter of it is protein. That's the general guideline that you got, right? So about half of your plate is fruits and veg, about a quarter of it is the carbohydrates replacing the grains category, and about a quarter of it is protein, right? And then you would take that with a glass of water to, maintain that healthy water intake, or a glass of 2% milk, for the dairy and your calcium and so on and so forth, right? In terms of your question there, Nigel is asking, Timon, can you speak about a diet for the elderly? I need this information for a senior citizen who is not on a regular healthy diet. That last part kind of confusing me now. What do you mean by, as in right now they're not on a regular healthy diet and they need to change their diet? What's the situation there? But one thing that I can tell you is that with the elderly persons, you would find that absorption of some nutrients is diminished. So that's where you would, and once again, check your GP, check your primary dietitian, because then they would be able to test for certain things and see if it's necessary for you, right? Typically, as you age, absorption of certain, like I said, nutrients decreases. So you would have situations where B12 supplementation may be necessary because of the age and the absorption, etc. So you want to make sure that you check with them so that you can see what it is that you may be lacking, and then they would be able to give you a more specific based on the age, based on how you've been eating for how many ever years before, what you may be deficient in, etc. So really and truly, I would recommend that everybody, gets this check, because if it is that you have deficiencies, and deficiencies can cause other complications, if you have them, you would ideally want to correct them, so you would ideally want to be able to implement whatever food sources it is that would be able to provide the nutrients so that you would be able to correct those. But that's just a tip for
Yeah,
everyone.
before you go on, Timon, I saw another person here with another question for you. Because I can't answer any of
Wouldn't
them.
the
So,
dumplings be mainly carbohydrates? This one?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Right, he's saying, wouldn't the dumplings be mainly carbohydrates, and don't they usually make them from white flour? unless they make cassava or cornmeal dumplings. I don't. I get the question, but I don't see where the question is. The question, yeah, dumplings are carbohydrates. Um, yeah, I don't know of any other kind of dumplings that are not.
Or I think maybe he might have been no answering you. So remember earlier you were talking about carbohydrates and
Mhm.
but it's telling you so yeah. So maybe no, he's not catching up.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I was just trying to understand what was the angle there. If it was a question, or if it was just kind of a statement still in a question form to just drop in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Nigel again and Lemuel as well. Cheers. So yeah. Um but you generally as well, whole food is the best option that you would like, right? For anything that you're doing, you want whole food, right? Because the further down and the more processed it is, the further away it gets from what it is that you're trying to get in the initial first place. And a lot then of preservatives are added. A lot more processing that strips those nutrients is undertaken. And sometimes the form of food that you end up with is not as beneficial as what you would have started with. Take a perfect example, something like an orange, right? You know, when you eat an orange, you got, the pulp, which is the actual orange part with the juice and stuff. But you also got what we will call the pith, or the fibrous part, etc., which is the layers that covers the different sections of the orange, etc. And that there in itself provides you with some fiber, right? And even like an apple, right? The apple skin, yeah, that there also provides you with a lot of fiber and other benefits. So when we take away the fiber from fruits, what we actually do, one, is adjust how the when we extract the juice from it and we neglect the fiber, we actually adjust how it's metabolized by the body, one, in the digestion process. And we also reduce our fiber intake. Like, that's fiber that you could have just gotten for free and you didn't. Why? It's like, so that's one. And then go from fruit to 100% fruit juice to a fruit drink now, where you have that fruit juice being an ingredient in a drink with sugar or high fructose corn syrup, and maybe if it's a carbonated beverage, the um carbonation process is there as well, etc., so on and so forth, and you have the dyes, etc., 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 then you drifted further away from what it is that you originally had. So if you look at them on a scale, you will have best to worst, or most beneficial to least beneficial, at least. Your fruit in its whole form, the fruit juice, and then these highly processed drinks. And you're finding a rise in the highly processed foods, whether that's fast foods, whether that is the highly processed foods on the shelves in the stores, and that contributes, because of the way that it's processed as well, to a lot of the health challenges that we're seeing in society. So just bear in mind as I'm talking, everything that I'm telling you in regards to the eating guidelines, what I'm referring to when I'm referring to these options, as you would have noticed, is whole food, right? Is whole food as closest to its natural form as possible, right? Cool. So that's just there. Janine, we've lost you. But I trust you're coming back. Right? So this is
She's
my plate guide.
no
Yeah,
problem.
no problem, no problem. This is my plate guide. So half fruits and vegetables, um, about a quarter protein, a quarter carbohydrates. Ah, that's fantastic. Yeah, definitely drink some water. Um, I got mine, but it's in a glass container, and It still has a separate label on it, so I didn't really want to bring it on the camera. Anyway, um, and then either your 2% milk or a glass of water. Yeah. No, in terms of recommendations for the budgetary aspect, I like what y'all were talking about earlier with the conversation of growing your own food. I know a lot of persons might, see it as a little tedious, might not take the time to do it. But the thing about it too, even as you were saying with the green thumb thing, Shaquani, everybody don't have to do it. Like, it's not, if you got a neighborhood, right? Every single person in that neighborhood doesn't have to grow plantains and okras and bananas and lettuce and cassava and have fruit trees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody don't gotta do everything. So if it is that you can find someone in your community who does have a green thumb, contribute in some way to them, and them having their kitchen garden and their
That's
produce section, etc., you are then still contributing to the growth of the produce, and in a communal sense, right, in a less individualistic mentality, in a communal sense, in a sense of community and neighborhood camaraderie, that is a system that can work in terms of being able to access whole food, right?
mm-hmm.
You contribute what you can, and the persons that are more, let's say, savvy in the garden
That
would
is a
be,
nice way of putting it.
know, would be the ones to take care of that process. Another way, if you know persons that are small farmers, as we call them, that just be at the market, and just be down there, but you still going to the supermarket buying the imports. Support your small farmers, right? And maybe you say to them, all right, here I can bring 5 other people that I know that can support you every single, well, however you shop. Maybe it's every 2 weeks, maybe it's every month. I got 5, 6, 7 other people that are coming with me that for sure there's short sales. Let me see what we could work out. Because if it is that you're willing to go to that extent and build a network for them of consistent income, they might be willing to give you, they might be feeling less financially constrained, one, and be willing to give the group that you bring to them a discount based on that, right? A lot of people don't necessarily think that, not business minded per se, but it's real. Like, if it is that them struggling and them don't know when the next person gonna come, people ain't really buying for the market, as such. When you can show that consistently, all right, I can bring this set of people for you, and we can support you, we can buy you stuff, we with you. Persons will be inclined to say art and reciprocate that kind of community and reciprocate that kind of kindness. Yeah, Sheila, community gardens are an excellent idea. It is right. So it's just an understanding of, like, it's not just, and a lot of times when people think about this healthy eating thing, is like, oh, then I gotta go and buy all this stuff from the supermarket and it's so expensive. And it's like, well, maybe if you go about it that way, yes, it is. But there are other ways to do it, Um,
I'm
get
glad
some
that you
experience,
mentioned
a
this.
lot of
I just
support.
want you guys to know I buy the plants and take them to people who can care for plants. I don't have a green thumb, so my plants die. So when I go up on my aunt's house, and well, when she had a gooseberry tree, I gave her a baby gooseberry tree and it bloomed and it was amazing. We had jams and all kinds of things from the tree. Then we had a moth infestation and it went. But just like me, you can do that. Give people plants that have green thumbs and you can also benefit from it, because planting is not for everybody. But eating healthy is for everybody.
Yes. Right. So yeah. So like a feed bag of potatoes or you go and if it is that you doing the supermarket thing, get one of them large bags. If it is that you using rice, get one of them large bags of rice and use that. But you don't have to be doing too much, if you get me. A lot of people then think that you gotta go and buy quinoa from the health food store and the jasmine rice, and it,
Mom, what you have on for quinoa and jasmine
I,
rice?
if you can handle it, that's
Well,
fantastic. But
I
it
was
does
saying you
say
are correct that the
it's not
price is crazy.
necessary for the
I'm glad
health
that you
food.
made it clear though, because when you look online, it really does seem like you have to have quinoa in your cupboard. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have jasmine rice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when my family was on that diet, we had wild rice, and you're not lying. A small package of wild rice that was about this big was like $21. $21, and that was back in, I want to say, like 2009. So I cannot imagine even thinking about purchasing it now what the price would be. So in
Yeah.
2009, that cost $21 for that bag, and that could only serve us two times, serve a family two times. So you can
Yeah.
imagine using that today. So you're telling us that we can eat regular rice. Explain how that can benefit us, or wait, it doesn't matter.
So, and this is looking at whoa, what happened there with this chair? This is looking at nah, you almost fell down. No joke. This is looking at your cost benefit ratio matchup relevance, whatever you want to call it. Sure, one could say that the wild rice or the jasmine rice may be better than the regular brown rice, etc. But that's just a cost perspective. The the proportions and the way in which you use the rice is far more important than which of those you choose to get. If you feel bad about rice as an option, you don't want to use rice. Like I said, you could get a few bag of potatoes, cassavas. You know what I mean. Go to a farm, dig up a rod of them, do your thing. Like not farm, sorry, a field. But do your thing. Get a few bag of potatoes, get a few bag of cassavas, yams, eddos. I mean, it got a lot of land about the place. Yeah, I see the message there as well on the screen about the glycemic food index. So I'm gonna get to that too. Or the glycemic index.
Because
Um
so many questions coming in for you, right? I don't even
yeah.
know which wants to select which artist. So I know you will definitely have to come back again to go into some more detail, because people want to know how they can learn to farm, where they can learn
Mhm.
to start to grow things. Timon,
Well,
do you have
maybe
plants at home that you look after?
me personally,
Yes, you.
um not at home directly. I have a fat pork tree otherwise elsewhere
What?
that I used to chat more frequently a little back. But as I pass and I, check it, water it, etc., I will see how it's going. Saw it not too long the other day. It wasn't bearing, it wasn't in season at the moment. But when it's in season, and I pass, I will pass and get them and do anything there. So.
Wow. I don't know. Last night I heard somebody say that I had a fat port.
Yeah. That you think about it. So I glad that I get because I even saw I think where I got the tree from and I didn't see the place, like the person, I didn't see them have them there anymore. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, whoa. And I hear people saying like fat port, like ain't a thing no more. And I'm like,
You might got one of the only trees. I don't know, but if people
what
have
were you
fat port
saying?
comments, please say something, because
Ah,
we may have to get a seed from Timon's tree.
well, I just hope it bear again. That's what we're gonna say. Because if it is that people telling me, the fat port it's not seeing them no more, the tree might just be there. I gotta see next time hopefully it does better though.
But this
But the
person is
glycemic
actually,
index,
yeah, glycemic
right?
index.
So essentially that's just a scale that measures how quickly, the food or the carbohydrate, well, the food, let me say, will spike your blood sugar after you consume it. And that's the glycemic index. And if I'm not mistaken, is measured relevant to white bread. I can confirm that like quickly. Let me see, but I'm more sure it's like in terms of everything is measured against essentially a slice of white bread. How that would, yeah.
Wait, guys, look, somebody said two of their neighbors have fat pork trees. So, Timon, you're not the only one who has one. Some other
That's
people have.
brilliant.
That's great. So we need to spread those seeds, guys. But you have another comment, another
Right,
question.
is actually, sorry, the reference food is actually pure glucose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the pure glucose would give it obviously a GI index. It would give it the reading of 100. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a scale of essentially 9 to 100. But white bread and stuff like that nature has higher glycemic index as well.
So
But yeah,
my
back with
question
you.
is, if a person, I guess, was a diabetic, is a diabetic, they should really stay away from bread then. Or again,
You have to
every.
really check a doctor. But in terms of diabetics,
Mhm.
what is generally recommended for sure is increase your vegetable intake, monitor the blood sugar. Yeah, stay away from the processed carbohydrate options. So you would tend to stay away from the floury stuff, name baked goods, etc. The pastries, all that there. So and stick closer, like everybody should, to the whole food options. But obviously, then even their whole food options would then be in moderation based on what they are guided by their general practitioner, their doctor, based on how progressed they are in their diabetes, how severe it is, etc. Yeah, I think I already answered that brown rice thing there too from Judith, kind of. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, this one from Nigel here now. All right. So Nigel is asking, and the reason I'm reading the questions too, I'm not sure. Do the questions come up on screen too for the live stream?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right, my bad. But yeah, so he's asking me to share my thoughts on the volume of impact of chemicals utilized in food production on our health. Um, what says this? The way that the not to sound real ominous and dystopian, but the way that the world is set up at the moment, is very hard to get away from a lot of what has been done in the food industry, in the food production industry, etc. As it relates to the chemicals that are used from farm to fork, especially if it is that you are buying those imported food goods, which are mass produced, which are maximized for mass production and mass profit, which therefore use the most convenient methods and most profitable methods for their food production, with little to no regard generally for the health of the consumer on the other end. So, especially if you're using the hyper or ultra processed foods um, and imported food goods, you are going to be exposing yourself to, unless it's labeled as organic or labeled as XYZ, that indicates that it has not utilize those chemicals for a period of time that is cleared for that, then you're going to be exposing yourself to them on a much more frequent basis. But like I did say, you can do the best that you can, right? So the best that you can would be using food that you know where it come from, you know who grew it, etc. Trusted sources, local sources, and creating that ecosystem and that network that you could trust, so that you limit your exposure to those chemicals that are more frequently and more heavily used in those mass production settings. Yeah. And yes, the chemicals that they would use do also have an impact on the health. That's why, like I said, I say stay away from the ultra processed stuff. Even the chemicals, not even just that they use with the food while they're producing it in a raw material sense. But the chemicals that are used in the actual processing of the food to preserve it, to what's the word, modify it in whatever way to craft whatever food good it is that you then get on the back end, all of that contributes to health decline as well. So, like I said, try to get as close to whole food as you can from the ground, or and then even you would say with the C2, well, pollution, etc., etc., um, which is true. So it's just a case of doing the best that you can with what you have at this point. We can't turn back the hands of time. Unfortunately, we can, advocate for better moving forward, but we can't undo what has been done. We can't undo the pollution that has already been thrust upon the natural environment in so many ways. But we can refuse to contribute, and we can do the best that we can with what we have.
Wow. I feel like you barely got through your presentation, but we spoke about so many things. We definitely, you could all come back and do a part two because
Yeah, I
I'm
figured
seeing
so.
so many questions coming in and so many people giving suggestions about how you can like extend the lifeline of your plants. Definitely read the comments because I am not the person to tell you about what to do with your plants because they definitely will die. But from reading the comments, I'm seeing people saying that you can like save your seeds and replant them and repot them. And they suggested some of the plants that would be good that you can use. But Timon, I do not know how to tell you that. I don't know when we're gonna schedule, but you're gonna have to do the next section if you are available, which I hope you are, that you can come back and finish off and explain to us because people what we want you to do too is come back with your questions because Timon clearly have the answer for a lot of them about Timon. At the beginning, when we read your bio, right, we told them that they can reach out to your company and that you
Yeah, let me put
work out
up
settings and
YouTube.
stuff like that. So if you can put up that information, so if a person wants to reach out to you privately, how they can find out about what you offer and what they can get. Because so many questions are coming in and people wanted to call in, but unfortunately tonight we don't have the capacity to take calls. But what we would do, we would try going forward to see if we can get that working out. But if not, Timon is going to put up his information so you can reach out to him directly and he can go into further detail with you. You
Yes,
have another page.
yeah, give me 30 seconds.
Okay, no problem. So while we're waiting for him, I know that you guys definitely enjoyed this show because I saw so many people being engaged, people leaving. Oh, Timon, people are asking for your email address. People
Mm-hmm,
are so whatever means of whatever means you have for them to contact you, please make that information available because
Go
they have
ahead.
additional follow-up questions. I had saw earlier that somebody had asked if there are any programs in the community that they can learn how to farm because they may be like me and they don't have a green thumb and they want to get into doing a little home gardening. So I don't know if any other people on here may know that information. They can share it in the comments because one thing about on the Marcia Week show and the lawyer opposition, we believe in educating and sharing the information once we have it. So if you know about any programs like that, or if you may want to start a program with the other person, teaching people how to create a small kitchen garden in their homes or some tips they can do. Maybe Timon will tell us how he got this fat pork tree to be growing so big to bear.
Ain't even gonna be big to bear. That thing is bear.
Oh,
It actually is. It stays very low and then it just bears and it
oh,
buds. Well, it buds and bears.
okay. That is great. I need something like a cactus that does not require a lot of attention but will flourish without me having to look at it. So if we can find a way to utilize that to make food, well, I will be perfect. But if it needs a lot of attention, it's not for me.
Mm.
We have
Okay.
so many statements and questions coming in. We don't even have enough time to get Timon to answer all of these. What I'm gonna say, we're gonna ask Timon very politely tonight if he can come back next week Friday to finish off. I don't know, but he can let us know when he will be able to come back on
Yeah,
the
it will let you know.
next segment. But as soon as he puts up his information, Timon, can you call out the email address? Maybe we can type it out
Yeah. So the email address would be
or,
eagles.
or send it to me on WhatsApp. Let me put it up.
Okay,
Let me
cool.
put any comments.
Well, actually,
Right. Because what we will do is put his email address. Oh, he can type any comments too. Okay.
yeah, I just realized that.
Right. Yes, you can. So he's gonna put his email address there so you can reach out to him to ask him any additional questions. Just
Yeah.
he's definitely gonna say you need to check in with your general practitioner. We're gonna remind you
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank
But
you.
if
Thank
he
you.
can assist you in any way, because I think you also do personal training too, right, Timon?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And people who looking to get into their crop over costumes, that may be something you may be interested in. People who may be like me, who's gonna say, yeah, we're gonna try, but maybe 2026, do not be like me. We're definitely gonna reach out to Timon. All right, he put it here, so I'm gonna copy it now and put it
Yeah.
in chat so you can see it. So, oh, it's already there. So if you want to reach out to Timon to ask any follow-up questions, because we're seeing a lot of comments here, we're not able to go through all of them tonight. Please use this email address here. And you can reach Timon. Just when you reach out to him, let him know who you are and what kind of information you're trying to get from him, and he will basically explain to you what are these steps if he can assist you, and he will possibly be able to recommend you for something. So Timon, what is something you want everyone who's watching the live currently to leave with?
Um, that is a brilliant question. Let me put this up as a answer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you're watching it right now on your phone or your laptop, please screenshot this segment right here because it has his email address, his website, and his phone number.
Right.
Let's
So yeah. So that's the website for bookings. You would be able to book an appointment or consultation via that website.
right. So right now on screen, you can see his email address, his website for bookings, and his phone number, where you can reach out to him and he can probably help you create a plan. I don't know if that's something he does, but his website will indicate what he does.
Yeah.
Timon, what do you want the people who are currently the lawyer opposition? What do you want the lawyer opposition to leave with tonight?
Life is hard as it is. Don't give in a help. As a wise man once said, life is hard as it is. Don't give in a help. You
No.
know. So that encompasses a lot of what we talked about in terms of finding the solutions, which is not all the load on you, but understanding that you can be part of a community, understanding that you could pitch in, help out somebody else that's growing something, have that reciprocity. The print is too small showing email.
Yeah. So Timon, when you're finished, just send it to me privately and I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in comments.
Got you covered. Yeah. But
So don't worry, guys.
just
We will put it.
the understanding that it does not have to be hard. Yes, obviously the actual execution, you're gonna have that curve of you might have cravings for certain foods that you're accustomed to because you're accustomed to the fast foods, etc. But in terms of the actual logistics of having a healthy diet, you don't have to make it so hard. You don't. Right? You can buy your rice if that's what you're doing. If it is that you have your carbohydrates as ground provisions, then your sweet potato, cassava, yams, edibles, whatever from the nearest plot by you. Then your protein sources. In terms of proteins, that might be more where it might get more ticklish. But even if it is that you want to then, the nuts have gone up, as you know, SHAQUANI. But if it is that you want to use your legumes, then your beans, maximize on those. Or even still find community farmers, persons that doing the chicken. I saw someone that had chickens, five chickens for 100 flat. Yeah. This was a little before Christmas. 5 chickens for 100 flat. So there are deals going around there. Like I said, if it is that you put yourself in the space of persons that are looking for these healthy items and options at affordable prices, and y'all create a network and a community where that information is passed and circulated, it will be much easier for you to find, when it is that you're looking, So yeah, just plug in.
Thank you so much, Timon, for coming on tonight. I know it was last minute and we appreciate what you did because it was so informative and helpful. And we look forward to part 2 because I know that you had to skip to the end of this PowerPoint because you got way more pages. But we have so many follow-up questions for you, and we do appreciate that you were able to come on and present this wonderful presentation. And now it got me feeling like I need to be in the gym.
There we go.
So I want you to enjoy the rest of your night. And I want to say from the opposition, thank you very much for sharing your presentation, your knowledge with us tonight within your field, because we hear you talking about different things, but this is the first time we really heard you talking about what you're really passionate about, what you study and what you do every day. So thank you very much for being on tonight. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Likewise. Cheers. Blessings everyone tonight. So,
Right. So, guys, that was Timon. He did a wonderful job, and I think that I didn't really understand what dieting was. I feel like I'm in a better position now. And our next guest is here already. I'm going to let Janine introduce her. So, Janine, I'm handing over to you.
Yes, I guess that you guys would have learned a lot from Timon, and I hope that you guys continue to take your notes, and we do look forward to having him once again. So tonight, guys, you would have told you earlier that we would have been speaking about nutrition. You also said we would be talking about creating a vision board as well. Well, right now, we do want to introduce our next guest to you. This is her first time on the Marcia show, so we want that when you see her, you do give her a warm welcome. And she is an educator, entrepreneur, and attorney at law. She is a certified educator with a distinction in that practice. She would have taught business studies for over a decade at the secondary level. She then went on to pursue becoming an attorney, and she was able to do that. She owns a business called K's Delightful Treats. That is K's Delightful Treats 246. And she was doing that for over a decade as well. She teach other females how to bake and how to start a profitable business as well. We would like to welcome tonight to you guys Mrs. Carolyn Walters to the Marcia Week Show. Ooh. Hi, good night. Welcome to the
Hi,
Marcia.
good night, good night. Thank you.
And how are you doing?
I am well. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yes, we're hearing you perfect. You can hear
Loud.
us
Oh,
as well.
yes. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Great. So we want to welcome you to the Marcia Show. The Loyal Opposition is very glad to have you here. We do look forward to what you have to share with us. You know, you say you're going to be creating a vision board for 2025. And I'm excited because I actually want to create one myself.
Okay, awesome. So, give me 1 second. I just have a notification saying to plug in my power source, so I wouldn't want the
There's no
computer
problem.
just. Okay, great. So, thank you again for having me on this show. And I'm excited to speak about vision boarding. But actually, I actually encourage persons to use any of the four visioning tools. So a vision board is something that is a traditional way of visioning, planning, etc. But there are other ways that you can vision, plan your life, sort out your goals and stuff. So you actually have something called a vision book. You have a vision board, right? That's a vision book there. You actually have a vision bingo, and you actually have a 365-year calendar. So I am going to go through all four. This is the vision board. Yeah, Shaqani, you could play that.
You will first need a trifold board. Then you have to print each of the 12 months and you will arrange those on the board however you want to arrange them. And you can stick them with either glue or two-sided tape. It is easier and faster to simply use two-sided tape. Then you will need color-coded small sticky notes, small enough to fit into these squares in each month. And each color you can have for different areas of your job or your life. And having the months on the trifold board is very important, especially if you have contracts, appointments all over the year. You can see these things well in advance. You can plan for them and see everything at a glance.
Right. So that is the 365-year calendar. I actually have that was the one for 2024 on my Instagram page. And this one here is the one that I have for 2025 in the background that you're seeing. So essentially what you do is you purchase a trifold board. And these boards are sold at Larry Dash. So you purchase your trifold board and then you go on Google and you print each month of the year. Once you have printed each month of the year, you arrange it on the trifold board, you stick it on. Once you stick it on, then you are going to divide your, I like to say divide your life, but you divide your life into categories. So you may have, like for me, I have the treats. That's my baking business. I have Kerry Law. That's my legal business. I also have the YWCA because I'm the president of the YWCA, and then I will have my personal life. So I'm one person. So I want to have a million calendars. I have one calendar because at the end of the day, you need to divide your life into those days. So I would use color coded sticky notes, like I said. So for business, if you want to have it yellow, you will place yellow in whatever day so that when you have it in a spot where you can see it, at a glance, okay, yellow is business. So on this day, I have something to do for business. When you go closer to the board, you can see exactly what you want. And as an attorney, So it might be January now, but we will get court dates maybe in October. And I cannot wait until too close to October to start like, communicating with clients and preparing for court and stuff like that. So I can literally sit in my chair and just look over, because I'm going to take this to work. I can literally sit in my chair and look over and see what I have upcoming. So I find like this is a very good tool for any person to plan their year. And you're not just planning, you're actually like organizing your life so that you can be more productive and you can stay on top of targets. So that's the first one, the 365 year calendar. Obviously 366 if it's a leap year. The last year was a leap year. So the first visioning tool is the 365 year calendar. But the traditional one that everybody knows about is the vision board. So the vision board, you can purchase the same trifold board, or you can purchase Bristol board that may be cheaper. And to do this, you first need to sit and reflect on your goals. What are the things that you want for your life? You also will divide again your life into categories, whether it be personal development, health and fitness, spirituality, femininity, business. You can choose as many or as little categories as you want to. If it's your first time doing a vision board, I always recommend to just start small. Like perhaps use 3 categories, 2 categories. And as you progress, you can probably add some more categories into your life, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You want to make sure that you know that you're on top of things and it is something that you can manage. So as long as you think about your goals, the next thing you have to do is you have to gather inspiration. So if a category of your life is, let's say, health and fitness, because we know this is 2025 and a lot of persons have health and fitness goals. So say one of your categories is health and fitness, and one of the things in that category that you want to do is you want to, let's say, lose 10 pounds, for example. Now, you are going to, you can go on Pinterest or you can go on Google and you will look for images that represent this goal. So you could type in fit woman or man if you're male. You could type in anything that represents your goal. Once you find the image that resonates with you, you print that off, and you do that for every single category of your life, every goal that you have in that category. If you want to be a doctor, you will again go on Google or maybe Pinterest, you find that picture, you print it, and you have all the pictures there. So once you have gathered your inspiration, so you thought about your goals, you gathered your inspiration, the next thing is to get your supplies. So like I said, you can use the poster board, you can use Bristol board. Once you have those, then you need glue or tape. You can have markers if you want to write stuff and make it pretty. You get magazines as well as another great source for inspirational pictures. Also a great source for maybe some quotes that you may want to put on your vision board. And once you have all of those things, the next step is to arrange the pictures. So you wouldn't want to have the pictures all over the place. You want to tell a story. So if, say, for in the left corner, you want to put health and fitness. So when you look at that corner, you can see everything that is health and fitness related. Then you do that. Say in the center, you want to put personal development. You put those things in the center. But you assemble it and arrange it in such a way that makes sense, that you can really see it and follow it. So after you arrange everything, then you have to put it in a place where you're going to see it. And that is like one of the most important things. The purpose for being able to see it is so that you can be reminded of your goals, you can be reminded of where you want to take your life and get excited about your goals and what you want to achieve. that is the vision board. So I don't know if you have any questions about that so far, but those are two out of the four so far.
Great. Yeah, I see a question here for you. I just wanted to ask myself, you said where we could have purchased the Bristol board from again?
You can purchase the Bristol board from Larry Dash. I'm not sure if any other craft stores will sell, but definitely Larry Dash. That's where I purchase all of my um, Bristol boards and these trifold boards.
Okay.
And also, like if you're in an organization, this is something that you can do for the organization as well. Because as I mentioned earlier, I'm the president of the YWCA, which is Young Women's Christian Association. And on Saturday, we actually had a planning session where we literally planned for 2025 for the organization. So, say for example, Janine, maybe you are, I don't know, the president of JANINE Enterprises, for example. You can literally plan what you want to do for 2025, like right now. Um, the first thing you do, you can look at special holidays. You can see if you want to bring in a special guest for maybe Women's International Day. So it can help for a person personally, but it can also help with an organization or business to really be proactive in planning a year. So those were, like I said, two of the four visioning tools. And the third one is the vision book. I don't know if okay, so it's there. It's a video. So the vision book is actually a portable version of the vision board. So portable as in you can carry it with you, you can have it in your bag, you can travel with it. So with the vision book, the same things that you would do for your vision board, you need to sit and you need to reflect on your goals, what you want for your life, and you divide those into some categories. And I always encourage persons start small. You do the same thing for the vision book. Once you have your categories, then the vision book takes the vision board a step further. So with the vision book, you have to have actionable items. So if you said you wanted to lose 10 pounds, for example, now you have to ask yourself, what are the steps I must take to lose 10 pounds? I know Timon before me, he was speaking about this very same thing. Maybe you need to book a consultation with Timon. Maybe you need to do some more research online. So you really need to put the actionable items to achieve your goal in the specific category. And then on the on the left side of the page, you would have those goals, the action steps, and on the right side, you actually have the pictures. So it's like the same type of pictures you will put on the vision board, you would have in the vision book, maybe smaller because it's portable and you're traveling with that vision book. And you check it daily. You check it daily so that you know whether you're on track, if you need to pivot, if you forgot something. So it really will keep you on track. And I really love the vision book because of those actionable items. Because it's one thing to plan, it's one thing to say you want to do something, but what exactly must you do to reach your goal? And that's where the vision book would come in. So those are three of the four visioning tools. I don't know if you or anybody have any questions about any of those three things before I move on to the last visioning tool.
Yeah, so in regards to the vision, but I was liking that concept as well. I know a lot of us, for the maybe the older person, don't want to put anybody into the category, but I know maybe the older persons may more want to go with the book way. But in regards to the younger people, we always have our cell phones. So is this vision book also digitally, where we can, be more jar to go to our cell phones to look for stuff? So I think it would be good if we can even do that on our cell phones as well.
Yes, absolutely. So you can do the vision book or the vision board for that matter. Those can be done visually, digitally, sorry. So you can use, I don't know if you're familiar with Canva, you know of that app, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can actually do it in the free version. You don't have to have Pro, and you simply just have it created in Canva, and you can have your vision book to record the categories, insert the pictures. It'll be very easy actually to do it in Canva. Just drag the pictures into the categories, and you have it there that you can refer to it every time that you want to refer to it. And I think that the vision book is a very exciting and like different, as you said, um, tool, especially for the younger persons. Right. So the fourth and final visioning tool is the vision board bingo. I think I have a picture of the vision board bingo. Right. They have that there. So the vision board bingo, what this is a fun twist to the vision board and the vision book. Like a really, really fun twist. So it kind of like gamifies the whole vision board. So you kind of like playing a game. So you have the grids, and in each grid, you can put your goals. So, for example, if you want to start a business, you put it in a grid. If you want to save $1,000, you put it in a grid. So, the idea of the vision board bingo is to have actionable but measurable goals. So, whenever you achieve a goal, you would cross it out or maybe tick it and reward yourself. And at the end, with the traditional bingo, and you have achieved everything, you say bingo, and you buy an even a bigger gift for yourself. You reward yourself even more after you have achieved every single thing. Now, the vision board bingo, you can have it small, or you can go to like a printing place and have a large one done, like a poster size. And you can also stick that somewhere where you can see that. And like Janine, like you said, for the younger persons who may want to have it digitally, you can also have it in your phone. And whenever you achieve that thing, as long as it's measurable, you reward yourself. So I find like persons find this one to be the most fun. It gets them excited, it gets them motivated about their goals, and to feel like, you're really achieving success rather than just having it in your head and you're just floating around. The vision, well, any of the four, but the vision board bingo for sure is a very exciting visioning tool.
Plus, you gotta get at the end for yourself too. So you get
Yes,
so
yes,
you like it.
yes, yes, yes.
Right, I saw that before you go on though. I saw that you had not only on all of the vision stuff, you had a business body. I know we didn't talk about that, but I just want the people to know as well that you could give us a little insight in regards to that. I don't want to give so much away.
Okay, so business body, it's actually a business that I registered back in 2020, and I later trademarked the name. But then I actually started a business body group in 2024, coming on to the end of August. So I felt like there was a need for a community of women who can support each other with their goals, where we can, yes, be inspired, but go a step further. We can be educated and really push our businesses to the next level. So it's really for female entrepreneurs who are really eager and excited about pushing their businesses to the next level. So that is how Business Body was started, and that's how the group, like I said, in 2024 came about. When I first started Business Body, I started with a journal. I actually have one here. I started with a journal and workbook. Business Body, journal and workbook. Moving from struggling and scared to praise and paid. So it's a guided journal and workbook for female entrepreneurs. And this book actually holds female entrepreneurs, it holds their hand in their entrepreneurship journey. And in this book that I wrote, there's actually a section called on the go vision board. So there's a section here that you can have your own vision board as well. Can't find it right now, but I know important visioning. Yes, look, it's right here on the board visioning. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's in the book. So all of the tools that are important for female entrepreneurs specifically are included in this book to really hold the female entrepreneur's hand. And it didn't just stop at the vision, at the journal and workbook. I also did a gratitude journal, 31 days of gratitude, because it is very important for not just entrepreneurs, because this is for anybody to be grateful, even for the little things. So sometimes you might think that you are having a bad day, but if you sit and you really reflect on your day, you will realize like there are some things that you have to be grateful for, even if it's just life, you know? So I recognize how important it is for persons to be grateful. I believe that if you're grateful, then that opens up for more things to happen to you that you can be grateful for. And the final thing that I created, Business Body, is the exercise book, because, and they call it a money making notebook. And the reason for that is because as entrepreneurs, we love writing and we have a million ideas in our heads. There are a lot of things we need to execute, but sometimes you forget things when you don't write them. Like for example, you're going to the supermarket and you have to buy eggs, these things, and you remember it, but for the time you get in the supermarket, you forget the most important things, and you gone off buying. You come up with a bag of stuff, and half of the things that you really wanted, you don't have. So when you write the whatever you want in the book, it guides you and allows you to make sure you stay focused and you stay on the path that you
Mhm.
have to go on. I don't know if there's anything else you specifically will want me to touch on.
No, I was. I just don't want you to touch on the part about going into the supermarket because that man will see that as a women problem. So I was. I don't want you to stop at that part.
Okay. But yes, so Business Body is really for women who are very confident about their goals.
Mhm.
They are eager to achieve their goals. They understand the importance of community. They have a desire to really take their businesses to the next level. And the first cohort of the Business Body group, we actually finished last year, the end 2024,
Mhm.
and we'll be taking applications shortly for a new cohort of female entrepreneurs who are very excited about business and serious about taking their businesses to the next level.
So
And there's
how you
so
can share?
much.
Sorry, right. I was gonna ask. So how can you share with everybody how if they want to join? How can they do so? Because I think this is a really great initiative. We don't have to wait until. I just always think about why persons don't have. We've got baby showers for women where we don't have business showers. So it's a real
True.
good instance that you have brought this forward for women. We hardly see women supporting each other. It's normally a competition. I don't know why. Unfortunately, but like that, you were bringing this on board, and just want you to share with everyone how can they get into this.
Yes, thank you. So right now, my Instagram, KERRILYN Walters, KERRILYN, my first name, my last name, Walters, WALTERS on Instagram. And I will have a link in the bio that you can click to actually access the business body application form. It's not there right now, but it will be there from next week. And as long as you fill out the application form, the team will go through the applications and you would be informed whether your application has been successful for this cohort or if you may be on the waiting list for the next cohort. Because the aim is not to have like 150 women or like thousands of women. Is really to have a group of women who are, like I said, very committed and very eager about taking their businesses to the next level. We don't want it watered down. We want it to be impactful. We want it to really serve those persons who it's supposed to serve.
Right, I totally agree. Is I keep saying, it's just so glad this is happening in Barbados. I mean, much persons like not know about it because I didn't, but I guess a lot of us will know about it tonight. I encourage you guys to continue to share and like because this is something that we should encourage more women to do. Carolyn has taken the initiative to start it. We can link with her. And look, she's very busy. I'm not sure how she's getting it all done, but it has to be board, guys. So
Planning.
yes, but she's an attorney at law. She has delightful treat, right? Kids, delightful treats. It was right.
Yes.
And she's been doing that for over a decade. She was also a educator as well, and she's still educating because tonight she's giving us a whole lot of information, so it hasn't stopped. We really want to thank you for coming on tonight. I have surely learned a lot. I'm not sure if SHAQUANI has anything to say.
I have learned a lot. I just want you guys know I was behind the scenes doing the technical stuff, but I am here. Carolyn did not mention it, but I bought one of her business buddies.
Yes, you
But
did.
when she first created it, I was one of the first people to purchase one, and it was so helpful, like getting my business back on track. Because I purchased mine after COVID, and I really wanted to strategize how to come out from COVID and how to take my small business to the next level to being a consistent income, and it was really helpful. So if you're in that position currently and you're not sure where to turn with your business, I know she said it's for women, but I don't know if business material or business sense really has a gender. Maybe you can come reach out to her privately because I put the link in the comments and answer if it is okay if a man possibly might want to purchase the business body journal to get their small business off the ground, because for me personally it was very helpful and I was able to track what I was doing, set goals and achieve them, and then she did it in a way that you could reuse it if you had a different business. So it's very helpful and I really do appreciate her coming on and sharing all this wonderful information. How much a trifle costs? I wanted to ask you so earlier.
Thank you, SHAQUANI. First thing, the when I first did the business body, because the name business body is not really for a man, but
Mhm.
you made a great point. The information though can be used for either gender. So if a male wants to purchase a business body journal and work, but he's free to purchase a journal and work. But I actually have some on sale, $50 Barbados. They're also on Amazon. And to your question specifically, the
Mhm.
trifold board is $16. Let's say 17 Barbados. You can round it off to 17 um, Barbados. I will recommend the trifold board and not the Bristol board because it's a little
Mhm.
more sturdy and it's actually bigger too.
Carolyn, somebody just messaged me and told me you need to create a business body for brothers.
Uh,
Because the men seem to feel a little bit left out. So I just coming on this show just like that. She has another business on the rise because men want to learn about how to get their businesses from being something at home to be something more substantial. So, guys, if you have any other questions, I put the link there to go to Carolyn's page. You can reach out to her. She has, as she said, products on Amazon. So, if you prefer a digital option, you can get that. I myself is very busy, so I will definitely be trying to do the 365-day calendar and I will report, because I feel like we need to bring back Carolyn to do a progress report on how it's going, if we actually started, and
Yes.
how
Yeah.
do we stay committed to it? Because it seems really big when you plan for the whole year, but how do we keep on track? So I feel like this is the beginning of the first, and we're going to have her back, because with a person like her in your life, I feel like we will be on track every day for 365 days, because she just said it. She has 4 jobs. I don't know about you, but that's what I heard. I heard she said she got 4 jobs, and she seems to be being able to manage it really well. So, Carolyn, what do you have? What do you want to leave with the lawyer opposition team? What do you want us to take from you? The most
Well,
important.
the most important thing that I would say is plan. You really need to plan your life. Don't just like float by.
Mhm.
Um, yes, it is true that what is for you, you will get. However, you are the CEO of your life, and you need to be purposeful, intentional about achieving your goals. And without planning, you're
Mhm.
not really going to achieve all that you really can achieve or live out your greatest and fullest potential.
I think that was an excellent quote. You see, she's even giving us quotes and stuff. What more can we ask for? And that's really good for her. I really want to thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed it. I think there's so much for us to learn. And as Shaquani said, you really need to come back on. I'm not sure when you will be available again, but to see the progress that some of us are making. And I'm definitely going to start my for sure though. This is not a joke. I definitely going to start maybe tomorrow. Try to go into tomorrow and get some stuff.
And I just want to add that I'm very responsive. So if persons DM me, I will respond. If they email me, I will respond. And they can also WhatsApp me. Shaquani, I'm not sure if you put my telephone number.
No, I didn't, but I'll put it up right now.
Yes. So they can also contact me via WhatsApp and I will respond. And if they call me, as long as I have a moment, I would answer. And, we can engage in some conversation. The same 365-day year calendar, I have actually done some for persons who can't do it themselves. So if you need a little assistance, feel free to reach out to me. I just don't want persons to think like they're alone or it's too overwhelming.
Accessibility
I
shortcuts.
can't get this done. So that is what I wanted to add at the end.
Thank you so much. I'm actually putting up the number here now, so that anybody who wanted to WhatsApp you can reach out to you.
Hmm.
Guys, this is a number for, is it loaded? I don't know if I'm having it
Yeah,
in
it's there.
okay right
Yeah,
now.
it's there. 2411123.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, it's there.
So
They
you can
can see
reach
it.
Caroline on WhatsApp at this number, or you can
Yes.
reach her via her link. You could DM her on her Instagram page, because her Instagram page is connected to the link as well, and answer any additional questions. And we know that we definitely have to bring her back, because this is just the beginning. Because it's one
Yes.
thing to say we're gonna plan. I feel like we need to now recap on, we had a planning session. This is what the outcome was. So we may
Yes.
have to do something like that.
No problem at all. And thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure. And I'm always open to sharing and, like encouraging and inspiring women and men. So I will definitely accept the invitation to be back on.
Okay, great. All right, happy New Year to you again and continue to
Thank
have a
you.
great weekend.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye. Guys, I don't know about you, but I enjoyed myself. Even though I wasn't on the screen, I was taking notes, taking some screenshots, because I know that it cannot be easy just trying to figure out how to get everything scheduled, because it may not
Mhm.
only be children, it may be work, it may be after school activities with your children. So trying to organize all of that could become hectic sometimes. So
Yeah.
as Caroline said, just take time. She gave us the steps. And if you have any additional information, she gave you her number so you can reach out to her, and she can really guide you through the whole process.
Yeah, so I think that tonight we would have got some information that we would have normally had to go and pay to get, because people would have offered classes. So I think that you guys should really take in what Timon Howard would have said earlier, and then you had Mrs. Carolyn Walters coming on to you and giving you a whole lot of information of how we can go forward. I think that tonight, being the third day of the year, we have already started with some valuable information of how we can go forward for the next couple months. I just try to, although we will be planning, you will enjoy. You see, Carolyn said, we're doing the vision boarding. In regards to the bingo one, you could even purchase yourself a little gift, just to keep yourself encouraged and feel good about what you're doing as well. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to her coming back on Timon as well and learning a lot, because I learned a lot of stuff tonight that I didn't know before to be able to admit that.
So the next thing we have for you tonight, at the beginning we were trying to guess where Marcia was. So Marcia was in Kenya. Well, she's currently still there. She and Dave, they're on vacation, and they did a recording for us. So I'm gonna play it right now so that you can see what in Kenya for them on vacation is like, because they wanted you to be able to get some of the experience from them. Okay, I'm gonna play it now.
Jambo, Karibu, Kenya. This is such a wonderful, wonderful place, and I want to say to everybody, of course, my wonderful husband who planned this trip for me to be here in Kenya. We flew in, we got here January 2nd. We left Barbados on December 31st, and it took us 2 days to get here, and I'm enjoying myself. I want to say to everybody, Asante. Asante sana. I'm learning all the different words, I'm learning a little Swahili. I'm here, we're getting ready to eat. And they said when you're hungry is jabu. Right? No, it's inja. And so we're going to eat now, and I think they're getting ready to bring the food up right now, but I'm excited. We were with the MAASAI tribe. I put on all of my regalia and enjoyed that, singing and dancing with the MAASAI tribe, and that was at the national park. I know we're planning to go out to we're planning to be actually going to see the MAASAI tribe. And I know that is going to be an amazing experience. We saw the animals this morning. We saw the antelopes. We saw the giraffes and the warthogs. We saw Pumbaa. You remember Pumbaa? Actually, this is a land of the Lion King. Really, Hakuna Matata. It is that's Swahili. And so we're very happy to be here. I'm excited. I miss you all, but I'm having a good time here. And I'm going to do my very, very best in giving you little updates on what is happening with us here in Kenya. So far, the hit has been with the MAASAI tribe, and just meeting the people of Kenya. We're staying in Langata, which we heard about through Dr. Wangusi, the school in Langata, where the children protested, and so we are actually in Langata. That's where we're staying, and it's such a privilege to meet everybody. We're excited, and we're going to bring you more all the way from Kenya. Hakuna Matata, Karibu. I'm using up all the words that I know so far. Asante sana. Thank you all so very much. Love you. Bye bye.
Hello. You won't guess where I am. Maybe you will. I'm in Kenya. Can you believe it? I'm in Kenya, East Africa, the land of the Maasai. You've seen all these BBC programs, you've seen all these documentaries, CNN, and we've always seen the Maasai. And we have always wondered what is it like to be in Africa, in Kenya. And I've been dreaming of coming to Kenya since, a long time. We planned this trip since 2023, and finally it's here, 2025. We're in Kenya, and we've been having a wonderful time from the time we got onto the Kenya Airways flight. It was wonderful. The food was great. The air hostesses were great. The pilot was a female. One of the pilots was a female. The flight was great, beautiful flight. So we've been here in Kenya, and it's been tremendous. We just came from the national park, where we saw different animals, and the safari was wonderful. And we encourage anybody, any Bajan, Jamaican, Trinidadian, any Caribbean people, come home to Africa. This one is Kenya. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nehemiah Ndirito from Kenya, Nairobi City. And as I'm speaking here, I come from a small village called Langata, but we give it a short name LA, which is together with the one that is in the US called Los Angeles. I come from a small community or a big community in Kenya called Kikuyu, and we have a lot of money. So you can be sure after this interview, I'm going to be given a lot of money. Now, where I come from, we do agriculture. We plant coffee, which is exported in many countries, and tea, which you pay dearly, but here for us it is very cheap. Number two, we come from a polygamous family. There are those who have got monogamous, polygamous, 2 wives, 3 wives, but for me, I just have 1 wife and I have 3 kids. So don't call me those other names. Now, we are in a small hotel called Holy City, just like 7 kilometers from the city center. And we are here with these dear visitors who want to have a meal here. Now, the menu on the day is matoke. Matoke is another language for bananas. They are made, actually when I'm standing here, I can just see a banana tree just to my left. Yes, that's where they come from. They are normally boiled and just made so that they are not so hard, they are not so soft. And then they are followed together with vegetables, green vegetables. We call them kunde and managu. Green vegetables, they are good because they are rich in fiber. They are also good for digestion. That is the meat that we're going to have. We're also going to have fish, tilapia fish that normally comes from the Lake Victoria here in Kenya. That is a lake water fish, not seawater, lake water. So it is deliciously sweet. And then after that, we're also going to have, there is also what you call the local food, ugali. This is for me. I'll also eat together with my visitors. I like ugali and chicken, local dialect. Together with the sukuma wiki. They are also green vegetables, but they are not more natural like the other ones, which are called kunde and managu. They are green vegetables. Around this place, we are surrounded by 3 major installations. Behind me, we have a prison, where people are kept, women prison. On my right, we have an airport. We have an airport, a small one, Wilson Airport. On my extreme right, we have a military base. It's called the Langata Barracks, where we're able to just deal with the security. And then on the other side, we have one of the largest slums in East Africa. It's called the Kibera slum. For those who don't know, slum is where low-earning people live. Yeah, where we call Mabati House. So please enjoy. This is a place to be. Kenya, Hakuna Matata. You are welcome anytime. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. Karibu Kenya.
Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm from Kenya. I've been the tour guide to my good friends from Barbados. I've never been there, but they have had the greatest experience in Kenya. We have gone to the national park. We have walked around. So they have had a very good experience, and I'm telling other Barbados that are outside there, the Caribbeans that are outside there, that you are welcome to Kenya. Come to Kenya so that you can have the best experience.
Right. Guys, how do you feel? I feel like I was in Kenya. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like I was in Kenya. I was eating the food, doing the dances, wearing the clothes. How do you feel about it? I am so
Yes.
excited to see what else she has to send us. Janine,
Yep.
how do
She
you
gave
feel?
us a whole she gave us like a whole documentary, and she has not even been there as long as she can be as yet. So it seems like there's so much to even do there, and to be able to, watch these things on TV and to be able to see that they're actually enjoying it. I cannot imagine the type of experience that they're having. I know that they're a lot of hours ahead of us because Marcia was saying that she had to go to bed when it was the beginning of the show. So I'm really excited for her. I think that this is a very well vacation that she deserves, and it's good to see they're trying to sit back and relax. But she's also like giving us, like we are on CNN and we're getting reports from Kenya still from her. So it's a real good thing to have her over there and still reporting back to us here. You see how much she loves you guys? She's still reporting and giving you a
They are 6 hours ahead. Wow. Marcia loves us, loyal opposition. She loves us.
Yep, still sharing information. You saw her in the outfit for the tribe outfit and jumping and stuff and really being engaged. I like to see when people go overseas and they really engage in the culture and what's happening there. They really get to embrace even back home better because you start to appreciate a lot of what you have back here in Barbados and stuff. So it's always a good time to go overseas and experience what people have to offer.
It is. I think tonight's show was such an amazing show. But I don't want you to tune out yet because Kenya was nice, but we got some hot topics that we want to discuss before you go off the show. I know a lot of you would have heard, and I know a lot of other people in the Caribbean would have been speaking about this, and I felt like tonight I definitely need to mention it because I would have met her when I went in Trinidad recently. Wait, no, wrong one. So this is it. So this is Minister Lisa Morris Julian. She would have passed away with her children in a fire recently in Trinidad, and she was the Minister for Education. When I went to the Women in Politics workshop, she was one of the presenters there, and she was amazing, like a force to be reckoned with. She spoke about her love of family, her commitment to family, and the commitment to the people and community. And how, when you want your community to support you, how you need to get on the ground, how you need to canvas, how you really need to put your people first and remember where you come from and remember who put you in that position. So to lose somebody so young who was so impactful to society, it was really, really difficult. And I couldn't believe it because I met her maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I got the awful news. And it hit me pretty hard because I couldn't even imagine that meeting somebody so impactful and powerful could go so quickly. So it really showed me that you need to appreciate where you are, what you have, and remember what is really important, because one of the messages that she really emphasized on us is how important her family was and how important her family was for her. And she always said that every single morning, the first thing she did in the morning was take 1 hour for herself, and then every hour after that is for everybody else. So, since we're in the spirit of planning, I want us to remember Minister Lisa Morris Julian at this moment and maybe take her advice. As she said, take 1 hour in the morning when you wake up for yourself, and then you do everything else after. And I just want to say, let's just send her family condolences and the people of Trinidad condolences, because they would have lost a dynamic person that I know that we will not be able to replace. And I know that tonight I needed to speak on that. And thank you very much for allowing me to mention that. While we are in Trinidad, while the show was going on, I got this notice about what the Prime Minister of Trinidad, Dr. Keith Rowley, would have mentioned, what he would have said. He said he's not running back next election. He's stepping down before his term is up. And I found it very, very interesting that he actually announced this now, because it's really election season in a lot of the other Caribbean countries, along with Barbados. Even though our election isn't called as yet, we know that people are gearing up. So loyal opposition, this is the time for us, because he decided to step down. I am wondering, would our Prime Minister step down? Like, if she thinks that she was at the end, at her wit's end, she can't do anything else, she has a better position, will she do Barbadians justice by stepping down? Because that is what it may be sometimes, because in Barbados, the hardship is hard. The water bills are intense. People aren't getting water. The supermarket bills are intense. I remember purchasing a ham that looking like a small orange. The hams are not the same. Janine, I see you laughing. I know you want to jump in because we
Yeah, I was gonna say like a whole
so
chicken. I recognize that the house was like a whole chicken this year for that amount of money. So it's
and
crazy.
you mentioned whole chickens. Oh my gosh, a whole chicken now is like a baby bird.
There was like a whole chicken for real.
It's like a baby bird. So it's very small. So imagine you're paying more, you're getting less. It is very frustrating. And it's not fair to us because we're not getting more money. And even when we get more money, we're paying out more money. And
Correct.
it's extremely exhausting where people are not listening to the public. The public is saying it's harder, and we see we get another loan. The
Yeah.
public is harder, and we see, oh, the light bill may be going up. So it's
Don't talk
almost
about the light bill because we said we are moving towards a green economy, but something that seems to be green is what's happening in Barbados because the light bill is not going down at all. I wonder sometimes which down there mean.
So it is extremely frustrating. It seems like the government is not listening to us. The more we speak or the more we raise issues, the more they do the opposite. It's like they're not listening to us. And this is why the Marcia Week show and the lawyer opposition is so important because our voices matter and what we say matters. And the more we get our voices and our messages out there, they have to listen because how people could be complaining that the supermarket is more expensive, things are going up, and they're saying everything in Barbados is good. It's
I
like when
think,
they're saying, yeah, you go ahead, Jenny.
yeah, I think that is because honestly, maybe the comments from the way the world, they're not living in Barbados, so know what's happening. So because maybe she got praises from persons who are not living in Barbados is what keeps her thinking that she's doing the correct thing. But unfortunately, we are living here on a day-to-day basis and we can feel the plates of what is happening. So we need to really get real and address the issues that are happening in Barbados and not what people are writing on social media that are not experiencing what is happening here.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I told you I went on a training workshop, and one of the things that was said at the workshop a lot is I have the best prime minister in the world. I have the prime minister from the Caribbean. And when they said, every time they said that, my face just went straight. Like I said nothing. And then when I started to speak about the brown water in Barbados, some locations with no water, how our light bill is like, what is really like in Barbados, they couldn't believe that we had so many issues because to us, our prime minister is the prime minister for the Caribbean where everything is wonderful. So for them, they see a different story. They don't see people catching buckets of water. They don't see people drinking brown water, washing their clothes with brown water. They don't see the light bill so high or bills constantly going up. It's like they are seeing a different side to it. They get a different story. And it's up to us to tell the real story, what is actually happening in Barbados. Because I have nothing against climate change. I have nothing against people traveling to spread a message. My issue is when you don't represent the people here in Barbados. When we have so many issues. I saw somebody the other night post about dropping their car dropping in a pothole. And at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, they had to stop to change a tire. And they were a female.
Yeah, I saw that too.
These potholes are ridiculous. So all of this money spent on traveling, and I can understand if you were traveling to get something better for Barbadians. But every time you travel, I hearing that, oh, we get a loan, a loan, a loan, and it's frustrating because that those loans and the repayment isn't going to impact her. It's going to impact my children's children because I do not understand why we're getting so many loans, and then when we get the loans we don't even see a difference. Like if we weren't seeing potholes that look like craters, maybe we might feel different. If we didn't go on the supermarkets and we can't find meat, we can't find vegetables, or we weren't buying sweet potatoes at like $8 a pound, because I know vegetables went up really expensive because we had a lot of things short. Oh wait, I'm seeing some messages. Right, Barbados is burning around us, but yet we have the grit. Yes, so because a lot, we need more people speaking out, and don't feel like you have to be on a show to speak out. You can speak out to your friends, to your family. You can speak out in the comments because trust us, they watch this show Loyal Opposition because every now and again you see small changes or they may switch around something when we make it when we say something on the show. So continue to comment, continue to like and to share this live because your voices are important. And bright and early January 2025, we're here and we're telling you that Barbados is not as sweet as it appears when she speaks about it overseas. We are having a really hard time here in Barbados. People are struggling. We have a generation who is struggling to read and write. We have children leaving school not being able to read. That's ridiculous. We are not in, I want to say back in the days when people had to leave school early. People are leaving school at the appropriate age and still can't read. So that is a fundamental problem that needs to be addressed. So I think instead of the big delegations spending money to go overseas to do other things and talk about climate change, maybe we can find something to talk about in Barbados that can impact the citizens of Barbados. And it is really difficult when you wake up every day and you're working for minimum wage and you're struggling to make ends meet and you got two children and you still can't buy meals. I don't think they understand the definition of living paycheck to paycheck, but it's changed. It's not even living paycheck to paycheck, it's living bill to bill because sometimes your paycheck doesn't really cover your expenses anymore. And somebody may say, get less expenses. But when you work for so little, you have to get that. Like you have to go to a company and get something on higher purchase. So that is how you would get a credit card or you would get that because you may need a fridge. You can't afford it to pay for it cash. Mr. Newton, thank you so much for making this point. We need to recognize, and I think a lot of Bajans are waking up, a lot of Barbadians are waking up and realizing that we are the change if we want it. Like how Carolyn said earlier, we need to plan and be very decisive and intentional about what we want to do. And we want to be ready for when election is called, and we need to know what you need to do. So if you need to go and check to see if you are registered, make sure everything is right. Because I can tell you, every single vote counts. Don't say that you don't vote because everybody's the same, because not voting is a vote too, you know. I don't think we understand that not voting is a vote. So you need to be very intentional in what you do and discuss it with your family. You may not be sure who to vote for, if you should vote. But when you look around, you realize that you don't have any money. Things are harder. Bus fare is still $3.50. You gotta catch 4 buses a day. That is a quarter of your salary just in bus fare. So when you calculate if you should vote based on your hardship, I think that you will change your mind and vote because I can tell you a lot of people say that they don't plan to vote again. But when you look at your hardship meter, that's what I'm going to call it, your hardship meter, to determine how hard life is for you, I think that would be the deciding factor if you are going to vote. Because we cannot live with another 30 love. The opposition needs help. This loyal opposition, we need help, and we're going to do every single thing we can to make sure that we're never in a position again where one party holds the government, because we know that we need more than one voice to make it possible here in Barbados. I want to thank every single person. Janine, I don't know if you want to jump in here, if you have anything to say before we...
I just wanted to say that I was very glad to be on here again with you tonight, SHAQUANI, to be able to co-host. I think that it should even went better than we expected. I think that we did a tremendous job. I want to thank Marcia and Dave for allowing us to have this platform and to go forward with the show, even when they're not here for the loyal opposition. I want to thank Timon Howard and Mrs. Carolyn Walters for coming on and providing us with all the sound information that we need to get our year on track. And I hope that you guys, the loyal opposition, were able to take in the information that they were able to provide, and not only to take it in, but you will also apply it to your life on a day-to-day basis as well. It was a good night being here with you. I want to tell you guys Happy New Year again. I hope that this year we have less violence in Barbados and more love. And good night to each and every one of you.
Guys, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We truly, truly appreciated you. If you have not liked this video as yet, please like this video, please subscribe, and please share, because we want this message to get far and wide. And everybody, we want you to have a good Friday night, a good weekend, and we will see you soon. Good night, everybody.